Hi everyone, welcome to the video. This is video number 3 in the Batocera build guide series. So yeah, this is basically number 3. We've had in videos 1 and 2, we did the initial install and setup and then added a bunch of systems. This one we're going to add a few more systems and also do an update because the version that I've got running is a version or 2 behind. So it's a good chance to show the update process. For those that haven't seen the other videos, obviously please go and check out number 1. That's where you should be starting. But it's basically a full guided build from start to finish, how to install it, how to add games, and I'm providing links to everything you need, the games, the artwork, the themes, and I'm basically showing you how to do it all, how to put it all together. So by the end you should have a complete build all ready to go with a best of selection of games as well. So without further ado, let's crack on. So we've got a bunch of systems here to add. So the kind of the, I guess, Atari series, early Atari series, Amiga, and Final FBNeo, which is arcade. So I have just spin up the Batocera box that's running on my machine. So this is obviously with Batocera you normally run it on, well, you run it on a PC, either booting temporarily off USB. If you've got a single PC at home that normally runs Windows, you want to run Batocera temporarily, you can stick it on the USB drive, put it in and boot to it. Or you've got a dedicated machine for emulation or arcade cab or whatever it might be, you'd probably install Batocera to the local hard drive and it will just boot up directly. So obviously that's a bit harder for me to switch between machines and record it all. So I'm running Batocera on a virtual machine using the Oracle VirtualBox software, which is free software that allows you to spin up virtual machines, and that's what I've done here with Batocera, basically so it's easier to record and show you guys. So first step, like I say, was the update. If you wait a few seconds, by default Batocera will check for updates periodically, and in a moment we should get a notification at the top here to say there's a new version available, and there we go, so version 37. So to do the update, it's all it's automated, it does it itself. There's no interaction from yourself other than when it's finished you restart the machine, but it's worth showing. So you go into the menu, go down to updates and downloads, and you've got software updates here. So this is a little checkbox to say do your checks, do your periodic checks, leave on. And then for update type you've got 2. So stable is the the everyday version that's released on a website that everyone, pretty much most people, are using. The beta version is, as it says, it's basically a work in progress of the next version. So currently it's 37, so the beta version 38, and there'll be that will increment over time as they work on it. So if you want to get a hold of new features, possibly new systems, whatever they, depending on what they're adding, you can get early access here, and obviously just be aware some things may not be fully working or working at full speed, or there might be sort of issues and bugs. But it's a chance to help the guys out at RetroBat and report any bugs or issues. But I think for the majority of people, just stick with stable, and then just hit go on the start update. If there isn't one available, it will say you're already up to date or there's not an update available. Mine's saying that I'm currently running 35 and number 30 or version 37 is available. So I'll hit yes, and then this is the point. It does everything happens in the background. You'll see in the top right here, you've got updating. So it's downloading 2.7 gig. So it's kind of, it reimages the kind of the main part of the drive for you. So it's not really sort of, I guess, an incremental update. It's kind of like obviously blacked over the top. Obviously you don't lose anything, you don't lose any games or lists you've set up. It just sort of updates the system in the background, which is nice. So pretty much we just need to leave this to download now. So what I'll do is just pause here until it's finished, and then I'll come back. Okay, so the download's finished. Now you see the message in the top corners change to update is ready, reboot to apply. So that's all we're going to do. Just hit escape out of here, go down to quit and restart system. So just going to restart. And in the background it's just applying the changes. It's decided to change the screen size for me. Which is handy. See if I can make this the right size to actually see it on the screen. Yes, it's changed the resolution. Let's see if I can just make it fit. There you go. So it fits on the screen. Obviously, it's a little bit squished and a bit the ratio slightly out, but it's just basically so you guys can see it. So yeah, that's it. That was it. That was updating from 35 to 37, and that was done. So you can see that it's no fuss. There's no kind of interaction really, other than just doing a reboot. And we can just confirm if we go into the menu and go to system settings. I mean, actually, you can see at the bottom here it says 37. But you can go into system settings, information. Again, there, version 37. And I'll see some information about the hardware specs and disk space and all that kind of good stuff. So that was it. That's the update. I say it's pretty straightforward. Actually, while we're in there, now we're going to do copy the games across. So, like I say, there are two methods. So if you are running this on a separate machine and you've got another PC or laptop, or you've even got your phone, you can connect to it. If you've got some kind of a file explorer app on your phone or a tablet, you can use that to access Batocera over your home network. So I've just gone in here to check my IP address. So I'll literally go to start run on my machine, do a double backslash, start typing in that address, and it's .97, which I've got in the list already. Click on that, brings up, it's a Windows type file share, what they call a Samba share or sys. So we're now accessing the Batocera drive. We go into ROMs, and again here's all the pre-configured folders for all different systems that Batocera supports. All these are pretty much empty at the moment, apart from the ones we've added obviously in the other videos. Within each one, so you will get an info text file, which just gives you the basic information of this is this system is Atari Lynx, and these are the file extensions for the ROMs that it expects to find, and then if anything different, then they won't show up. And the same there, just in French. So, like I say, I've had a few people ask as well that they've got a single PC they run Batocera on. They can't do this method because you can't have Windows running and Batocera running at the same time. Obviously, I have because I've got a virtual machine, but obviously running it as a virtual machine like this is probably not the best performance for gaming. It's just to show how everything works. So basically, if you've got a single PC, the easiest way to do it is get a USB drive and copy all your ROMs onto that you want to copy across, and then boot your machine into Batocera. And then once you're in Batocera main screen, just hit F1 on the keyboard, and you'll get this kind of file browser type menu. And then if you've got your USB drive plugged in, you'll see it appear in a list here. So then you can basically browse to it. The mouse doesn't work too well in the virtual machine. It kind of jumps about a bit, so I can't actually do it. But you would kind of click in here, find the folder, and then right click copy. Under Batocera, you go to your ROMs folder, into the relevant ROMs folder for that system you're adding, and right click and paste. And then it would basically copy across. So then once you're finished, you can then use the eject button here to eject USB drive, and then hit F1. I think it's F1, or is it escape? Or you might even have to go to File, Close Window. There you go. And then you'll go back to here, and then once it's added, same as you did before, you go into the game settings. Sorry, you go into game settings and do update game list, and it'll refresh, and those games will appear. But obviously we're doing the other method here across the home network, So here's the ROMs folder. I'll just move this to one side, and here's all the stuff I've grabbed from the links that are in the description. So it's just a case of going down the list and extracting as we've done in other videos. So let's do the Amiga 1200 first. Again, empty folder. I'm just going to open up the zip file. Again, I'm using 7-zip, so it opens it in 7-zip manager. And then I say what you can do is just grab the folder and drag it over. So not onto here, into a bit of free space. You know, see if I do this, it's going to drop it into those folders. I want to drop it into the root of this folder, so I'll just hover some free space and let go. Password is build, exclamation mark, with a capital B, it's case sensitive. Oh, got the wrong password. Let me try that again. There you go, that's what happens when it goes wrong. Let's drag that in there. Might actually be, because it's an older one, rb-build. There we go. There's the same set used for, obviously, for a retro bat build. Hence the password. So that copies across, and then, as I said in other videos, when you drag in 7-zip, it does a two-step extraction. It extracts it to a temporary location here under my app data. It once it's extracted to there, it copies it from there into the ROMs folder. So it is that two-step. Insert that finish. Obviously the info file already exists, but just say yes to replace. So that's now Amiga in here. All the games are here. All the artwork, etc., is in here. So just see images. There's all the kind of artwork. If I just change the view, you can see there's all the cover artwork, screenshots, the logo, all that kind of stuff. So now we just kind of repeat the process for the other ones. So Atari. And the other way to do this, if I just click in here and do Control-C to copy that into clipboard, the other way to do a one-step extraction is click the extract button here, Control-V to paste in that path, and just click go. Again, it's going to ask for a password. rb-build, exclamation mark. And now what it should be doing is a one-step extraction. Straight into here. Okay. With all the ROMs going in, and again all the artwork is there ready. The videos is all the little video snaps. And again, it already exists, replace, yes. So we're looking videos again. This is all the little video clips, sort of between 10, 20, 30 seconds long of each game. So when you're browsing through, you can see a little clip of the game, what it looks like, which is I always like to have. So let's just speed through these then. So 2600, drag, and I should still have, yep, that in the clipboard. Luckily all these systems are relatively small. So just let's go through. I mean, yeah, I don't, if I can help it, I don't like to pause the video, you know, and come back afterwards and just be like, there you go, all done. I like to do it sort of in real time, so you guys can kind of follow along and see exactly how it's done, exactly kind of how long it's going to take. Obviously, the only exception there was the update. I paused because it's quite a big download, so there's no advantage just sitting and watching the progress bar go up. But for this, it's going to go through the process. It shouldn't take too long. Yeah, just overwrite. See, any prompts? Right, 7800. Let's extract that one. Same password. Yep. This is why it's quite handy using this 7-zip manager. You can actually kind of quickly browse multiple compressed files, and then just extract as you go. Let's get good going. That's all. And then links. But I don't think you should highlight it. I think just literally click extract. Second to last one, FBNeo, also the arcade set. All these sets are best of, so they're not, you know, complete every single game for each system, because it just makes the numbers ridiculous, and as I said on other videos, it'll just you end up with tens of thousands of games that you never play. Makes it so hard just scrolling through lists, and some of them might be rubbish as well, to be honest. So I much prefer to have a that one has a different password, just to keep everyone on their toes. Let's do that again. This one should be build, exclamation mark. That looks better. So that should be everything. Well, once this is finished, everything copied in. So let's have a quick look. Yeah, FBNeo again is. It's copied in. This is one of the bigger ones. Like I say, it's a best of collection. Everything in here. And for the arcade stuff, FBNeo and MAME is again a best of collection, but it's still FBNeo something like 550 games, and MAME's around about 600. So obviously a complete arcade set, it will be thousands of games, but like I say, half of them might not emulate 100% or might just be rubbish games. So this is kind of like the best of the best type of collection, but you've still got, you know, 500-600 games to choose from, so plenty of choice. So it contains all the highest rated ones, all the most popular ones in those sets. So what I might do, I know I said I don't like to do it, but I might just pause this one. It's going to take 7 minutes. Because like I said, it's quite a big set. It's a couple of gig, this one, and of course it's extracting across the network. So let me do that. Let me pause it quickly, and then as soon as this is finished, I'll be back. Okay, so that one's now finished as well. Let's close out all of this. So we've now got all the games we're adding extracted into the right folders. So let's go back to Retrobat. There we go. Right, so once you've added, you can either to get it to update and rescan the games, you can either just restart it. If it's already running, you can go into menu, go to game settings and update game lists. Ask if you're sure. Does a recheck. Now we can see our all games is up to nearly 2,000. Interesting that MAME's in the menu. Also picking up. Not quite sure what's picking those two up for. I'll double check that. So we haven't added MAME yet, so that's interesting. Let's just escape. So we've got FBNeo. Yeah, 562 games. Like I say, all the artworks there, the logos, the video snaps, the information at the bottom, all looking good. And then we've got the various Atari systems that we added. And again, obviously, the artwork doesn't look as good on here because it's a little bit squished, etc. But you can see it's all there. They look a lot nicer on a full screen monitor or TV. Atari. And the Lynx, the Jaguar. Amiga, let's put down as Amiga 600. It's interesting, it might just be the logo. Maybe we should just let's launch an Amiga one just to make sure that it works properly, because I'll see the set was under the Amiga 1200, which it is running. So maybe it's just the logo on the theme. It's got the wrong logo. So you can see the bezel here. It's the 1200 bezel, definitely. And you can see the game's running. Let's just escape out of there for a minute. And also intent this other stuff we've added already in the previous videos. Yeah, so we've got Final Burn, we've got the Atari systems, up to Jaguar, etc. And we've got Commodore Amiga. Although I did double check why that's showing a 600 rather than 1200. It might be this theme, like I say, it's got the wrong logo or something like that. So I guess if we go in here, we'll hold down the select button on one of the games. Should have the advanced menu. So edit this game's metadata. Got the name and everything. Everything's in there, that's fine. But yeah, just not a bit confused why it's showing up as 600 rather than 1200. Maybe it's just an oddity on my machine. Not quite sure why though. So systems displayed. Yeah, so Retrobat displays them as Amiga and AGA, which is so the 1200 had an AGA graphics chipset, which gave you more colours and basically better graphic performance. So yeah, that's them all added. I was just going to double check quickly the main folder, because it's picked up 2 games, but so yeah, I think when we copied the BIOS pack across, there's some files that go into the main folder, which are mainly kind of like BIOS files for different systems. It's obviously picked up a couple thinking they're games, which they're not. So that's quite easy to remedy. So I'll go back to main here, and these 2 games, these 2 items, which I think are games but aren't, we actually hold down the select key on them. We can go to edit the game's metadata, go to the bottom and toggle it as hidden, go down, click on save, do the same for this one, edit the metadata, hidden, click save, and now it should disappear. I just do game settings, update game list. See, now it's gone. So when we do actually come to add main properly, we'll put all the games in there and they'll reappear. The only other one was this one. So a little bit confused why it's showing that, but what I'll quickly do is if we change the theme, so we've got user interface, theme set, go back to the default, which is carbon. Yeah, so you see under here it lists as Amiga, which is correct, and there's all the other systems that we've added already. Interestingly, the default theme doesn't have an icon for the Atari 800. Interesting. And yeah, Amiga, it shows more. It's because it groups them. So you can see here they've got brackets Amiga 1200 on them. So you noticed in the So Amiga is one of those slight oddities in the fact that you've got all the different models. So you can see under the ROMs folder we've got a placeholder for 500, 1200, the Amiga CD32, the CD-TV. So what it will do is it will group them all under Amiga, and then after the name of the game, it has Amiga 1200 or Amiga 500 or CDTV or whatever it might be, but it keeps all the Amiga games grouped together. So maybe that's something that's just confusing in the other theme. On the other theme, it's not showing the right logo. Which, if you're anal or you really want to make sure it's perfect, what you can do is, if we go back and change to that theme, the Artflix one. Yes, it's showing it as 600. You could go back to the share, and then I need to remember where it is. We've got themes, Artflix, and see it's got folders for everything. I have 1200 and a whole bunch more, but I'm pretty sure somewhere, if I can find it. Basically, this folder is what holds all the files and settings and artwork for this particular theme. So if we were really interested, we could try to remember what the folder was called. So we've got all these folders for each system, but then there's more of a generic folder which holds some of the other stuff. We'll have a quick search through, and I'm going to pause for a second and find it, and then be right back. Right, so I found where the logos are. So they're under the assets folder and then logos. So we've got an Amiga 600 one here, and if I just rename this to -old, and then I'm going to copy and paste the 1200 to make a copy, and then rename this to Amiga 600. It's a little bit, so we've now got 600, which is the 1200. Got a copy of that one just in case. So let's see if I think we'll need to reload the theme. So if we go to user interface, theme set, carbon, I'll reload, then change it back to Artflix. Now it says Amiga 1200, or we could just change that to the, because they're all grouped together, we could change it to the standard Amiga logo. Still doesn't address why this says 600 over here on the left hand side, but again, like I say, you can play with that, and I'm pretty sure somewhere in here is an XML file. Yeah, so under Amiga 1200 we've got this XML file which has all the information. So this is, and it has it in each language as well, so you can see how it moves it around. So what we can do is take this custom one, take a copy of that, go into Amiga 600 folder. Again, we're going to call this -old, and then paste this one in. So again, completely hacking around, but again, this is just, you could just pick a different theme that works properly, but I do quite like this theme, so yeah. So let's do that same again. Obviously just conscious that the video is dragging on, but this is why I do this stuff in kind of real time, so you can see whether weird stuff like this happens, and how, if you want to, you can fix it. So there we go. So now it says 1200. It's got the right text on the left hand side. But like I say, if you want to make it generic, like I say, if you do add Amiga 500 or 600 and stuff later, like I say, it's going to group it all under this one location. So rather than replacing 600 with 1200, there's an Amiga folder here, which again, so you could just take that custom, you could just take that one, plonk it in here, and overwrite that, and then if we go to the assets folder and logos, like I say, if we take this one, make a copy, refresh that, we've got a 600, which is actually the 1200. That's getting confusing. Let's call that the 600, which I can't do, so let's delete that one. Let's rename that one again. Now, for the last time, actually escape out of there, let's do user interface, theme, carbon, and then user theme set, artfix. And this is by magic, Amiga now says Amiga, left hand side there's Amiga, although the text still says A600. I'm not quite sure why. They've obviously, that XML text file obviously describes it as 600, but you could go and change that text if you want. You put anything you want in there, and that's how it works. So yeah, that was like a little bit off topic, I guess. But like I said, there's a slight bug with that theme. But yeah, again, hopefully that helped. So like I say, now we've got a whole bunch of systems in here, up to nearly 2,000. And the plan is to carry on with this and add more systems and build them up. I mean, in this video, I haven't actually launched any of the games, well, apart from the Amiga one. Because to be honest, these early systems all use RetroArch as the emulator, so you're pretty much guaranteed they're just going to work. It's the ones that use external emulators or emulators other than RetroArch that might take a bit of configuration. But like I say, for all these, you launch them, they're just going to play. Again, because they use RetroArch. They'll just go, and like I say, you've got the bezel there set in. And there we go, we're off and running. So yeah, I don't want to sort of spend time just going through every single system and launching a game, because basically we don't need to. So yeah, that's it up to now. I'll create a new video soon and add some more stuff in. And basically get this Batocera build up and running, and like I say, the idea is to supply everything you need with the links in the description to get you from 0 to 100, full running system with all the games all ready to go. So yeah, hope you find it useful. Hope I didn't ramble on too long there, what I normally do, but hopefully it was all useful. If you liked it, please give the video a like, please subscribe if you haven't already. So yeah, thanks a lot everyone, and I'll catch you on the next one.